It just flipped like a switch. It was like a spiritual, I really can't explain it. And this is something I've never answered on the internet. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because we are diving into a Q&A. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so I asked you all on Instagram and in last week's newsletter to submit some questions, and you all definitely submitted some really good and a couple juicy questions. Let's go make a matcha and talk about it. So the first question is, what's something that's inspiring you right now? I'm feeling very inspired by younger Jules. I'm just feeling inspired to do the fun hobbies and things that I would have done as a kid that kind of fall to the wayside when you're a working adult. I listened to Sarah Bareilles' Kaleidoscope Heart album from like front to back a couple times. I was listening to Aslan, who I loved growing up. I listened to Rain, Boa, some K-pop artists that I used to listen to as a kid. It feels like a big throwback, and it reminds me to do more things that I love just because. So yeah, lately I've been inspired by little Jules and what she would enjoy doing, and it's very healing, I have to say. So I'm using ippodo matcha. I have these matcha to-go packs that I purchased when I went to Korea. I hardly use them because I was just in cafe heaven the entire time. And when I make matcha, I sift it. Nobody likes a clumpy matcha. And I'm heating my water to 180 degrees. You don't want to burn your matcha. Have there been times that you do feel tired or burnt out? How do you deal with it? I love this question because yes, I absolutely get frustrated, I get stressed, I get burnt out. That is a very normal human emotion. No matter how great your morning routine is, how organized you are, how put together your calendar is, everyone will experience this no matter what. We're not machines, we're humans. I will say the one thing that's made such a significant impact on my life is getting to know my cycle more and understanding what my body is doing during the different phases of my cycle. Ultimately, getting to know my body and knowing, okay, I'm in my luteal phase this week, so my energy's low, I'm a little bit brain foggy, I'm a little bit moody. There's just things that are kind of stacking up against me because of all the hormonal changes going on in my body. And so once I kind of accept this is the situation right now, I can find a little bit more compassion and grace for myself. Especially if you create content, you might get into this cycle of feeling like you have to constantly pump out content and be creative and come up with new ideas and film and be on camera. That's just not how I roll these days. I'm 31, I'm not interested in keeping up with the Joneses. You can move at your own pace, and that is okay. When I'm feeling burnt out or stressed or overwhelmed, I first look at where I'm at in my cycle. I check my surroundings. What can I tidy up? What can I clear? There's a motto that I've held very deeply in my soul since like my yoga teacher training days, and that is clear space, clear mind. You might have heard me say it quite a few times over the years, so I still so firmly believe that. Meet yourself where you're at, and every day is gonna be a little bit different, and that's okay. I'm going to pour a little bit of water just to cover my sifted matcha powder, and then we're gonna whisk. I'm using our Homebodies whisk. I love your sporty, feminine style. Any recs on how to find your style? Thank you for asking this question, and thank you for the compliment. I am a comfort first type of girl. I love mixing feminine shapes with sneakers or a ball cap. I don't wear a ton of colors and prints, mostly because I try to buy clothes that I can mix and match in many different ways, but I would look on Pinterest, or my Discover feed on Instagram would show me cute cafe girls and what they were wearing, and that would help give me inspiration. And over time, I just started to find the things that fit me well and look good on me, which brings me to today's sponsor. Thank you so much to Love Bonito for partnering on today's video. If you haven't heard of them yet, they are Asian founded, female led, female owned company. When I wear Love Bonito clothing, I really notice it in the hem length, the sleeve length, the fit of the waist, the proportions of the crop tops and the high-waisted jeans. All of it's catered to a more petite stature, and it's really nice to not have to get my clothes tailored all the time. They even created proprietary color Pantones to flatter more olive and golden based skin tones, which I think is really cool. Love Bonito is all about making Asian women feel seen and empowered. They also partner with an organization called Room to Read, which advocates for girls' education all over the world, which is really awesome. Upgrade your closet with clothes made to fit you today with Love Bonito. Go to the link in my description and use promo code LBXACRE for 10% off your order of 110 or more. Again, you can go to the link in my description and use my promo code LBXACRE for 10% off your order of 110 or more. All right, let's pick a fun glass. We're gonna fill this with ice. Not too much ice. I've never made cold foam before, but when I was in Korea, there was a lot of it. I know cold foam is a thing here too, but when I was in Korea, it was my first time trying it. And in honor of trying to create my own Korean cafe aesthetic at home, we're gonna try to make it. So I'm gonna add some milk. I'm gonna add some maple. And then I'm just going to froth it. So let's just see. Oh, I filled it up a little too much. Gonna overflow. I'm gonna put it in here so you can see. Oh wow, it already actually did froth. And I think I just need to froth for a while. Whoa, okay. I think it's working. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look how thick. I'm so excited. Okay, what got you into YouTube and where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years in this space? That's a really good question. First, I'll answer what got me into YouTube. First of all, I'm very long-winded. I just wanted a space where I could just stretch out a little bit more, connect with you all on a deeper level, get to know me a little deeper than quick Instagram stories here and there. My relationship with social media has really evolved over the years, but YouTube has definitely been my favorite outlet. In 5 years, I definitely see myself continuing on YouTube. I'd love to take a film class, learn even more about editing. I really enjoy the whole process of video making, and I think it'd be fun to do videos for other people where I'm not even like the subject of the video. So we'll see, that's really fulfilling. In 5 or 10 years, however the social media, YouTube, internet space evolves, I just hope to be in a place where I feel super aligned with what I'm doing, what I'm putting out into the world in whatever medium that is, and that I'm able to provide value and connection and community. As long as I'm doing something that's aligned with those values, then it doesn't really matter to me what that ends up looking like. And if it's completely different from what it looks like today, that's okay with me. I don't know how things are gonna change. I have some passion projects or things I'd like to explore that are in my head right now that I don't know if I'm gonna pursue, but we'll see. Okay, now we're going to pour the matcha. And I always pour more water into my matcha bowl so that we don't leave any matcha behind because that shit's expensive. Every drop counts. I need a much larger cup, but oh my God, I need a much larger cup. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna do this every day. Oh my gosh. Cheers. All right, so we'll start with an easy one. Where did I get my wedding band and engagement ring? Here's a close-up of my engagement ring and my wedding band. They're soldered together. Very short answer, I have a family friend that is in the jewelry business, and we just always knew that one day when the time comes and I find myself a husband, or he finds me, I wanted to buy my ring through them. And yeah, I've always known I wanted an oval diamond. I love it together. I look at it every single day and I feel very lucky to have it. Next question, and this is something I've never answered on the internet. Do you want kids in the future? I got a lot of duplicates of this question. The answer to that question is yes. I am very much looking forward to the day I become a mom. And it wasn't always that way. To back up a little bit, I wasn't even sure I wanted kids for the longest time. And by the way, that is totally fine. Whether you want kids or don't want kids, or don't know if you want kids, or think you don't want kids and decide later you do, or think you do want kids and decide later you don't, it's all valid. I think it's actually really responsible when you take pause and really think to yourself, is this something that I genuinely want, or is this something that society just expects of me as a woman? And I really did want to take the time to make sure it was my own voice that I'm hearing. So yes, I'm ready to have kids. I'm excited for that time in my life whenever I do get pregnant. That's all I can say about that at this point. As far as whether we are currently trying or not trying or gonna be trying soon, that's for me to know and you to find out in a future vlog. There is a very specific instance where it just flipped like a switch. It was like a spiritual, I really can't explain it. I don't know if this happens to other people, but it happened to me. I had this like spiritual inner knowing of, yeah, I want to be a mom and I'm really excited about it and I really want that. Where did you find your Korean tutor and how are you learning Korean? So I found my first Korean my first Korean tutor I found on italki, and I did 1 or 2 lessons a week for a month and a half or so, and then I paused lessons when we were moving, and then life got in the way and I'm now back in Korean lessons. I found a different tutor. So I did a few classes just to refresh Hangul with one teacher, and now I'm working with another teacher on conversational skills, and then I'll kind of just decide out of the 3 different teachers I've worked with who I like best. I think it's important to kind of bounce around until you find the right fit for you. I'm now doing 8 a.m. lessons once or twice a week. This has to do with home. So how's your previous house? Did you rent it out? So I don't know how long you've been following me on YouTube, but prior to this house, we lived in another house. That was our first house we ever bought, and we still own it, and we did rent it out. So we have like a long-term tenant living in there, and they've been great. Haven't heard much from them, and so far being a landlord has been totally fine. During the colder season, when there were some ice storms coming in, that was a little nerve-wracking because I wanted to make sure that we didn't have any pipes burst. So just kind of communicating with them on that. So that's going well. Aside from covering your couch with large blankets, is there anything else you do to keep it clean and white, especially with 2 dogs? Are they trained not to jump on the couch? So yes, our dogs are not allowed on the couch. Here's what I'll say about that. At our previous house, our dogs were allowed on the couch. They slept with us in our bed. It was very different over there. But when we moved to this house, I really wanted to try setting that boundary of not allowing them on our couch or our bed, because I have a lot of allergies, and I think the dogs rolling around the grass, coming in, laying on our bed, all of those allergens were just making me feel super inflamed. And then not to mention Clover shed, so our bed was just gross, just covered in hair all the time. Didn't enjoy it. I miss cuddling with them in bed, but the pros outweigh the cons. And it was surprisingly very easy to get them to not jump on the bed or the couch, because we had a new couch and a new bed in a new house. And so there wasn't that pre-ingrained behavior, because it was like a fresh start. If you are planning to move, or if you get a new couch, maybe use that as an opportunity to train your dogs to not jump on it. Our couch is from Made in Home, and it's made with the Krypton fabric. You can read about how durable it is, and so far so good. The only thing I do is vacuum, and I just put the blankets on there from Target. They're just these large king size knit blankets that are beige, and I tuck them right into our couch. And it just gives me a little bit of peace of mind. Things might be different when we have a kid, but I only know what I know right now, and so that's all I can share. Last question, how do I look confident in front of a camera? I really wanted to answer this question because I think, as you know, we are in this age of content creation. It is the creator economy. And I want you all to feel empowered to use your voice and create. And whether you just do it for yourself or for like a hobby, a side project, or you want to actually share it on the internet, and I want there to be some very specific takeaways. So first things first, you just have to practice. Pick a room where nobody's going to interrupt you, put your camera down, have some like notes written down of things you want to talk about, and just hit record, see what happens. I remember when Instagram stories came out, and I thought it was so weird to hold my phone and talk to the camera. I thought it was so strange, and I felt weird and awkward and cringy about it. But over time, I cared less and less about what other people are thinking of me, and I focused more on, well, what do I want to share with people? What value do I want to bring in this space? How can I carve out an intentional little corner of the internet and connect with people that are like-minded and build community? Being confident on the camera will come second, but first you have to be confident about what you want to share with people. I think there's room for everybody, and I think it's important to kind of find your own path into the space and what content you're excited to create and share with people, and why you want to share it with people. And if the camera is really just the catalyst, the only thing holding you back, I have full faith that you can overcome that with time and practice. My first videos, you can look back, my first videos were awkward and weird, and I've definitely grown a lot in front of the camera, so I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to be a beginner at something and to see your own growth over the years and to look back and be proud of how far you've come. So don't let your fear of talking to the camera hold you back from sharing what you want to share with the world. All right, friends, that concludes our Q&A. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2. If anything, I hope it inspired you to go make a cold foam matcha latte. Okay, friends, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Bye.